Welcome back to Ragamuffin Messages, and we're going to start on love, the series of love. So what is love? No, it's not the Hathaway song from the 1990s. No, it's not. But I might think that that is about how warped it has gotten over the years, in what maybe we as a world think of love, you know. People fall in and out of love so often, I think it's lost a great deal of its meaning to some of those kinds of folks. But I thought I would go through just the biblical definitions. There are 7 at least, depending on which piece of paper you read. 7 different kinds of love. And I'll go through them here. We'll just define them real quick so we can get started on the right foot in this little series that I'm going to bring to you. Messages of love. So the 7 kinds, the 7 types of love. And most of these originate out of the Greek. That's where I'm going to get these, since a lot of our base words come from that. So bear with me, I do not speak Greek. The first one is eros, eros love, which is where we get the word erotic. So you can take a pretty good guess at the definition of eros. It's the intense sexual attraction between two people. And the Greeks believed back in the day that this eros love could make you lose control, could make you say things you didn't mean, can make you act ways that you shouldn't act. I think that's pretty well proven today and yesteryear. If you go back to Samson, you know, Samson's infatuation, his eros love for Delilah made him tell her things that he should never have told her. I think that story is clear. David, King David, he fell head over heels in eros love and just destroyed lives right and left. I'm not picking on those 2 guys. They're just examples, and the Bible's pretty clear on the cost. And I don't think the cost has gone down in today's world. The next kind of love is philia. Philia love is the affection, the affectionate love, without sexual tension, without the eros, without passion. It's the love of a friendship, a good friend, a long time. Maybe we call them besties today, you know, the friends that you develop over the years. Sometimes we have that kind of interaction between the YTPC, you know, we get to be good friends. We love those people because that's philia. Storge love is like philia. It's non-passionate, non-eros, but it's familiar. It's familiar love. It's that family connection that you have between parents and siblings. It's a strong, very strong bond, and not easily broken. Pragma love is enduring love. Pragma love is something that it takes time in a relationship. Maybe you've been married 20 or 30 years or 40 years or 50 years. Pragma love is the result of a long relationship, and one where you've learned to appreciate things other than eros love, maybe. There's philatia, or philatia, as we might call it. Philatia, it's up to you. I'm not a Greek specialist. This is self-love, self-compassion. In large quantities, it can be unhealthy, and we're not talking about the erotic version of self-love in today's world, which is certainly a perverted version of it, but more effects on how you think of yourself, your self-worth, and believe me, that affects how you can apply any of the rest of these types of love. We have ludus love. Ludus love is that fun, playful, butterflies in your stomach feeling. Maybe you got that in elementary school when you thought you were in love with that girl from the 2nd grade and you were, you know what I mean. Flirtatious in an innocent way. And then we have agape love. Agape love is that unconditional, universal love without conditions. It's the type of love Jesus tried to teach while he was here, and maybe a little bit of that goes to how we think about our kids. You know, we love them unconditionally. Excuse me, unconditional love for one another. What is Christ like? Self-love. I'm going to go back to that one. The philatia for today. What does that look like? Because I don't think you can get to all these other types of love. I don't think that you can show them. I don't think that you can fully experience them without philatia love. Self-worth. So what does that look like in today's world? Philatia love. Let's look at that. So you might be a little surprised by the verse I'm going to choose for this, because it's so often used for how love looks to other people. But I think if you insert self in front of a lot of these sentences as they start, I think it'll start to make sense to you. It's 1 Corinthians 13, 4 through 7, sometimes called the love chapter. But do we really know how to love others if we can't do these things for ourselves? Love is patient. Love is kind. It's not jealous. Love does not brag. It's not arrogant. It does not act unbecomingly. It does not seek its own. It's not easily provoked. Does not take into account a wrong suffered. Does not rejoice in unrighteousness, but it rejoices in the truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Try that. Look it up in your version and put self-love in front of there. You can't do those things for other people unless you start with yourself. I don't think you can. So how does it look to have some self-worth, to believe that you're worth God's forgiveness, you're worth His grace? All these other things we've talked about, faith and hope, they're all extremely difficult to carry out without self-love, self-worth, self-compassion. This might not sound like it fits into the teaching here, but a few years ago, I was in a Christian band. We were probably kind of like a Little River Band version in the Christian, if you want to know what the sound was like. But we did a very large concert for us. We traveled locally and performed for churches and events and things, and we did a very large concert. It was probably 500 or 600 at that particular one for a very small church in the foothills. We were so up in the air about how that thing went. There were people everywhere. We had just a great time. About a week later, we did another concert at another small town, and we were like, boy, this is gonna rock. This is great. God's doing great things. And there were more people there with us, the crew, and our wives than there were in attendance. And we had a little meeting afterwards. And there was a lot of doubt, self-doubt in the group, personally and as a group. You know, what are we doing? Do people really want to see and hear what we're doing? We came to the conclusion and decided right then and there that it wasn't for the crowds and it wasn't for the success. It wasn't for the public accolades that we were doing that. It was because we each had a story to tell, and we told it through the music, through the words, through some of the things we said on stage, but through the music, through the outreach of the group. It wasn't about the crowds. It wasn't about them. It was about why we were doing it for Him. Self-worth. So as we go on looking at all these types of love, and we're not going to catch all of them. I have no intention of getting into the weeds here with all the meanings and all that. But as we look at this love thing, which I am definitely not a expert in, just take a look at yourself first today and tell yourself, you know, I need to start on the inside. I need, before I can accept God's love even for me, before I can know how to share it with others, before I can know how to be compassionate to others and patient and kind, I need to be passionate. I need to be patient. I need to be kind to myself. I don't need to remember all the mistakes that I've made. Learn from them? Yes. Beat yourself over the head with them? No. I hope to see you here next Friday. We're going to go over another interesting subject about love. This is Randy, Ragamuffin Piper. We'll see you next time with messages of love. God bless y'all. Until then.